Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, family gets compensation payout. Another MH supermarket destroyed in fire. And later in sports, the 2018 Coca-Cola Games begins tomorrow.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
The Lamani family, who lost their 7-year-old son Samuela Rokoura 2 months ago after being hit by a taxi at Culsa Road in Suva, today has some closure along with an ease to their financial burdens. This is after the family received a payout of $75,000 from the Accident Compensation Commission Fiji. Rachel Nath reports the Lamanis are the first to benefit from this new initiative.
The void that has been left by the passing away of 7-year-old Samuela Rokoura cannot be replaced. But in all the pain, a burden for the Lamani family has been lifted.
In addition, funds paid by ACCF will assist in the purchase of a monument in remembrance of my son, and to set up a trust fund account for his other siblings for future education, careers and other needs.
Emotional acting Prime Minister Ayar Said Kayum says in the past, families who lost their loved ones in these circumstances would not receive this type of assistance.
Mr. Money, I know this money is not in no way can replace your child. But it's one way of society saying that, look, you have suffered a tragedy and we would like to help you out in some way.
The Minister and Lamani are encouraging Fijians to seek out assistance from the Commission.
Also encourage victim families and victims to come forward and use this initiative in place to assist them with their compensation claim.
It greatly disturbs me that till today we have people who are opposed to this new law. It greatly disturbs me. At a moral level, at an ethical level.
The handover of the cheque was filled with high emotions as both the members of government and opposition showed their gratitude to the Lamani family. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Police and the National Fire Authority says they will be conducting a thorough investigation into the possibilities of how a fire destroyed yet another Morris Hedstrom outlet last night. MH Homemaker Nausori and around 5 other businesses were all destroyed, with authorities saying if anything sinister is found, they will not spare the culprits. Kelly Vadala reports.
Yet another MH fire, and this is becoming a norm, which has raised eyebrows, and now authorities are saying they will not let this rest if there is any foul play involved.
We would like to find out what is the real cause of fire, and if there is any foul play, okay, we will investigate that further, and if there is a culprit involved, okay, we will gather enough evidence so that we can take the culprit to justice. Quite a few, I believe that the cause of fire can be, it varies.
Gyo Lebu says the area is now a crime scene and movement has been restricted near the area.
We regard that as a scene of crime, because investigations is still ongoing from our side and also from the NFA. So we need to protect the scene. That is why we're still around there, calling up the area.
In a statement, NFA says the highly flammable contents inside the MH Homemaker building resulted in the fire spreading quickly to the adjacent Carpenter's Hardware and the neighboring businesses located in the Sun Arcade building.
It's a big fire, and it was spreading to all the next door neighbors. The one beside is Western Union, including Sky Glory, jewelry shop, Top Taste restaurant, the internet shop, another restaurant there, Baba shop.
Meanwhile, MH has confirmed to FBC News that they have hired an international forensics team to also look into the incident and carry out investigations. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum has called on the opposition to stop politicizing the meningococcal disease outbreak. This comes after opposition MP Viliameng Avoka requested the government to be more open and not be secretive about the status of the disease. Pranita Prakash reports.
Madam Speaker, I find these kind of questions so ridiculously inappropriate. What's this nonsense about being secretive? What nonsense?
The acting Prime Minister has given assurance to all Fijians that there is no secrecy to the status of the killer disease, as information is available publicly through the ministry and daily media reports.
Anybody in Australia and New Zealand knows that we've got an issue here. But it's not as big as issue as they're trying to make it out to be. You see, their political point scoring has always meant that they're trying at any expense, even if it means undermining our tourism industry, they'll go to score cheap political points.
Syed Qayyum says there is no need to create alarm in relation to the meningococcal disease.
Can the Minister inform the House what the government is doing, together with the industry, to assure and comfort those planning to visit Fiji not to be alarmed?
Mensi, Madam Speaker, is not seen as a detractor to visitors coming to Fiji, and most are, of course, familiar with the disease. Most are aware, because most of these countries, including the industrialized countries, have had, Mensi equivalent of their sort of little outbreaks, whether it's localized or on a national basis.
The government is working with key tourism agencies to ensure that Mensi does not have an effect on the tourism industry. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Prime Minister and COP23 President Voreqe Bainimarama yesterday co-chaired the Commonwealth Ministerial Meeting of Small Islands in London with the United Kingdom. In his address, Bainimarama highlighted to the representatives of the 31 small states of the need to work collectively to tackle climate change. Maggie Boyle reports.
The PM highlighted that we all face risk, uncertainty and further hardship, but if we work together, share knowledge and strengthen our relations within the Commonwealth family, we give ourselves a much better chance of emerging stronger and more resilient. He added very high levels of cooperation to survive and prosper was needed, and that for small states in a global order that increasingly favours a few mighty nations, institutions like the Commonwealth provided a strengthened voice. He also thanked the British government, who announced earlier in the day around $3.4 million as an additional contribution to the Pacific Regional Pacific NDC Hub. This is a facility, he said, to help Pacific Island countries implement and enhance nationally determined contributions under the Paris Agreement, which is of vital importance for the communities in the region. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum has made it clear that when Itauke land is leased to the Land Bank, the Itauke Land Trust Board does not take out any percentage of the lease money. Said Qayyum says in the past, when TLTB was formerly known as NLTB, it took out 25% as administrative cost. Ali Kimbia with the story.
The acting Prime Minister says that the Itauke land is well protected now under the 2013 Constitution when compared to previous governments where landowners suffered because of unfair lease conditions.
How those lands were leased in the 1970s and 80s through NLTB, and those landowners are still suffering today because of the lease conditions imposed then. So please, let's not come to this Parliament and portray that everything was heavenly prior to the Land Use Act. It was not.
Said Qayyum says 91% of land in Fiji today is Itauke land and it is well protected. However, this was not the case in the past.
Honourable Lalam Balavu, who was then Minister for Lands, when Honourable Usamate raised the issue about Momi and Denrao, he said, oh, there was the law. Yes, he's absolutely correct. He acted within the law, but the law was flawed. The law allowed for the permanent alienation of Itauke land.
Said Qayyum says this issue will never happen again.
The legal position is that this does not allow that to happen anymore. Cannot happen.
Government will continue to encourage landowners to take full advantage of the land bank. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Still to come, father pleads guilty for raping his daughter. And $2.83 million paid out to FMPF members after TC Kenny. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti kami na sa mga sekolah untuk tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 kena domoy viti.
Kaya ko yazo sila tali, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali taki yang gitu kena sebalik pun nangguturong, varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti na bonga ni BNN.
A father who allegedly raped his biological daughter over a period of 13 years today pleaded guilty to 8 counts of sexual-related offences. The man, who has been on trial since Monday, changed his plea in the High Court this morning. Pranita Prakash reports.
The man has been charged with 4 counts of rape, 2 counts of sexual assault, 1 count of attempted rape and 1 count of indecent assault. The 50-year-old man committed the offences from January 2005 to December 2017 at their residence in Nasinu. The victim was 12 years old when she was allegedly raped by her father in the first instance, which continued until she was 20 years old. During the trial, the victim, who is now 25 years old, said in court that her father told her that her face reminded him of his wife, the victim's mother, and that was the reason why he wanted sex from her. In court this morning, the man said he is pleading guilty to all the charges on his own free will. The man also informed the court that he understands the consequences of his guilty plea. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Minister for Transport Pravin Bala says the ministry will follow the law when it comes to controlling undue loud noises from buses on the road. Bala says there are codes of practice that have provisions to control the loud noise from private, commercial and public service vehicles. He says it has become a concern for the ministry as well, and there are some who just refuse to follow the rules. Sadelpa MP Semesa Karvaki asked Bala on whether a ban on all communication devices could be considered. Bala says a total ban will not be placed, as the noise inspection guideline allows 80 decibels to be used as maximum sound from vehicles.
The culprit are few individuals, some of the bus drivers and mostly minivan drivers. As I mentioned earlier on, that there is an enforcement program. And as I have also stated, that we are equally concerned.
Urgent action is needed in meeting health goals locally and regionally. Speaking during the 6th Heads of Health meeting in Nandi, Minister for Health Rosie Akbar has called for more action and less discussions. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Otherwise, it's all going to be all talk and talk and talk.
Minister for Health Rosie Akbar, not mincing her words, told participants that the time for talk is over.
Most of the discussions that the Pacific ministers had is mostly concentrated around the discussions that was part of the Yenuda Declaration in 1999. So we started this in 1999 and we're in 2018, very soon entering 2019. It's taken us that long. So that's why there's a need for sort of urgency and action to ensure that we meet those goals. Otherwise, it's all going to be all talk and talk and talk.
With this, other regional countries have backed the call made by Akbar.
I think we've reached a point and matured enough that we are able to now implement many of the policy issues that we've talked about for some time.
Talking, I think, is enough. We need to action those talks and walk the talk, as they say. So we would like some of those recommendations that come out from the ministers of health in the region to be implemented.
The meeting allows regional countries to also raise issues they face in healthcare.
Many issues that we, the Pacific, always tackle, and we, in some aspects, we have not done a great job, and we need to figure out our best to address these. An example is NCDs and health security issues.
Akbar says the meeting will play a crucial role in discussing and moving forward high-level public health issues for countries in the Pacific. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
A former Fiji resident has become one of New Zealand's most sickening criminal cases for slave trading in the country's legal history. A mother of a teenage daughter has been jailed for 6 years and 11 months after keeping her daughter as a sex slave and selling her body to men 1,000 times over a 2-year period. This report from New Zealand Herald Focus.
Casimir Lata has been jailed for 6 years and 11 months for dealing in slaves and exploitation. The case is considered to be the first of its kind in New Zealand. The 36-year-old kept her daughter as a prisoner in her own home and first sold her for sex on her 15th birthday. Men would pay up to $200 an hour to abuse the teenager's body in the South Auckland home and in motels across the city. Lata's daughter, who has permanent name suppression, was present in court and supported. The Crown gave a victim impact statement on her behalf.
Selling myself has affected every relationship that I have been in. I'm very cautious with everyone that I meet. I see men differently now. I think that they always want something from me, and that is their reason for talking to me. I don't trust or believe anyone, including my family.
The defence had this to say.
She's been sitting in custody waiting for this day and realises that in fact, no matter what, the one thing she will have to look at down the track is herself and her relationship with her daughter. For the moment she accepts that that might very well be lost.
From the time of her arrival in Auckland, the defendant worked as a prostitute.
Lata will serve at least 3 years, 5 months in jail.
$2.83 million has been paid out to 3,373 Fiji National Provident Fund members in the aftermath of TC Kenny in the Western Division. FNPF's Chief Executive Chauchi Koroi has confirmed that members who are not living in the affected areas are turning up in locations where teams are visiting, which delays efforts to assist those who genuinely need assistance. He is reminding the public that only the worst affected communities will be assisted, and the areas the teams are visiting are based on the advice by the Commissioner Western. FBC will be hosting a Today FM Park Jam at the Suva Civic Centre car park on Saturday, and it is a great opportunity for everyone to get together after the Coca-Cola Games. The alcohol-free event is expected to have lots of great entertainment with live bands, music and of course great food. There will also be a chance to win $500 free cash on the day by registering a group made up of 3 to 9 members and coming up with a creative cheer for the schools of their choice. The Park Jam will begin from 6 p.m.
And advice for parents is to know exactly where your kids are going and probably have a timetable set for them and when you expect them back home as well. And also with the meningococcal outbreak as well, we could advise parents to also advise the teens as well and the kids about the disease and how they could contract it.
Now, with the Coca-Cola Games starting tomorrow in Suva, it's not only the athletes who will be in action. Those who will be feeding the thousands gathering at Laudala, together with shops and other vendors, will be out to win gold, or in other words, make some cash during the 3 days. Kritika Kumar reports.
As people around the country come to watch the Coke Games, hunger is something that needs attention. Kula Wangasanga says she has been selling food such as barbecue and lovo at the games for past 4 years now.
On the first year, when the time I came here, I just make my food stall, and I've got my profit 1,000. I've got 1,400. This was my profit.
Her chefs are also excited about the prospect of being in the midst of the biggest schools meet.
We invite you gang to just come down to National Stadium. Our stall number is stall number 8. We hope to see you.
Hope to see you gang from tomorrow.
Meanwhile, police has chipped in just like past years to ensure the safety and security is maintained.
I would like to assure the public that police officers will be around, to provide security in the games venue, which will be deployed about 70 plus police officers tomorrow, and of course with the support of all our specialized units.
This area is expected to be jam-packed from tomorrow as the people from all around country will be coming to see the much-awaited Coca-Cola Games. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
In sports later with Jamie, the latest in the lead up to the Coca-Cola Games, but we now join Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening and coming up in Business Tonight. Wedding competition launched on Channel 7 Australia. And in growing Fiji, new weather office opened in Lambasa. Stay with us.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टॉक हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
In Business Tonight, Shangri-La Fijian Resort and Spa, in partnership with Tourism Fiji and Channel 7 Australia, has launched a wedding competition that will run for this month. Launched on Channel 7's popular breakfast show, Sunrise, the competition will culminate in a prize of 100,000 wedding packages, including airfares, rooms, and a wedding reception that will be broadcast live from the resort later in the year. Resort Spa and Sales Director Sashita Nand says they are extremely fortunate that their resort has been selected as the wedding venue and are delighted they will be able to showcase beautiful island destination of the resort as a one-stop shop for bridal parties. And we now join Sharon from HFC with the latest from the financial market.
Thank you. Let's look at the top stories for financial markets. Forex today was once again governed by a corporate earnings season and positive report making for higher stocks. The US dollar held to modest gains off the back of upbeat US data. The industrial production again has beaten expectations, rising 0.5% in March. But lingering caution over US-China trade tensions confirmed currencies to narrow ranges. Meanwhile, New Zealand's global dairy trade price index climbed 2.7%, when prices for whole milk powder, which is their main export and most traded item at the auction, rose 0.9%. Exciting morning is expected tomorrow as we await Canadian interest rate decision and the inflation numbers for New Zealand, Eurozone and Great Britain. So let's see how it will affect our Fiji dollar basket in the morning. And that's all from your local bank for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. Taking a look at today's currency exchange rates set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The Fiji dollar rose against the Australian and New Zealand dollar and dropped against the rest. As for the commodities market, a mixed day with oil prices closing up at $66.84 a barrel. Gold fell to close at $1,344 per ounce and silver closed up at $16.76 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, Lambasa will soon have its own weather office similar to the one in Nandi. Construction of the Lambasa office located at Vatunimbale has been completed. Director Ravin Kumar says it will take at least 2 or 3 months for the building to be occupied. The weather office will be able to provide the people of the north with timely weather bulletins, alerts, warnings and advisories.
The progress in the construction of Lambasa office is, this is again bringing services more closer to the communities, and the construction of the Lambasa office is supposed to be providing that as soon as it's completed. So the weather office from Lambasa over here would be able to provide similar services that we normally get it from Suva or Nandi.
And that's it from Business this evening. Here's Jamie with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening in sports tonight. Plans to expand the Coke Games to a Pacific event. And Thola South to face stiff competition in Blue Ribbon event. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तक ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Coca-Cola Games could expand into a Pacific event in the future if discussions are fruitful and the organizing committee is able to accommodate more athletes. Minister for Sports, Raisine Tuitumbo, confirms there is a lot of interest from the region to join the annual event. However, there are no immediate plans to expand yet. Vastil Prasad with the details.
Coke Games is now catching the eyes of other Pacific countries who are looking forward to test some of our best athletes.
Majority of Pacific schools want to take part. I was approached by the Minister of Sports from Vanuatu, and I've already told them the criteria to be qualified for that Coca-Cola Games.
Fiji Secondary Schools Athletics Association is aware of the interest and is working towards it.
Probably an area that we will have to really look seriously into. Maybe the Pacific School Games.
Sports Minister Laisenia Tuitumbo says there will be a certain criteria set for them if they are given the green light.
That they have to meet the timing to be qualified for the games, and how many female, how many males.
Something that will have to be decided by the executives, because as it is, the Coca-Cola Games is quite big.
But for now, the creams from around Fiji will come together to battle in the 3-day event at the ANZ Stadium in Suva from tomorrow. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Queen Victoria School sprinter Jim Tholasau is hoping to add his name to the history books by winning this year's Blue Ribbon event at the Coke Games. The last time QVS won the prestigious event was in 2016 through Eli Tiawanga. However, Tholasau will have his work cut out for him with stiff competition from Tony Lemeki of Mars Brothers, Shane Tuwusa of Natambua, and Malasembe Tuwusa of Suva Grammar School. Tholasau has kept a low profile coming into the games, with QVS having a media ban on his athletes this year. However, results from the Tailebu zone had his time at 10.33 seconds in the 100 meters and 22.51 seconds in the 200 meters event. Nasikawa Vision College of Nandrunga has made a lot of sacrifices to be part of this year's Coke Games. Spending their Easter weekend in school due to Cyclone Josie has also motivated the athletes to do their best tomorrow. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
Camping in a small space has not demoralized the athletes' fighting spirit. They had to improvise whatever they could do to continue their training.
We sacrificed and we managed to have each other's back.
18-year-old Silobate Rukutambua says her mother and brother are her biggest inspiration.
And also I want to thank my parents for supporting me all through, despite having hard times together, but we want to thank them for that.
School Vice Principal Meshar Ali says they will give it their all to make their school and families proud.
But looking at the preparation and our belief, positivity is the answer that we'll make sure with God's help.
These athletes from Nasikawa Vision College have given their best in training and are confident of achieving more at the Coca-Cola Games, which starts tomorrow at the ANZ Stadium. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
With the destruction and devastation of Tropical Cyclone Kenny still fresh in the minds of students from Kandavu Provincial School, its athletes are determined to do their best at the Coke Games and hopefully bring a smile to the families on the island still recovering. Eroni Tuinuku visited their team camp today and filed this report.
One can say that he has a heart of a warrior. Ilaitia Tokoni made it to the Coca-Cola Games despite the fact that his house was blown away by Tropical Cyclone Kenny.
When the hurricane affected our village, and I was able to, for myself, I just want to come to the Coca-Cola Games and participate so that to make our village and our country proud.
For the Kandavu athletes, Tokoni is not the only one who was affected. However, this has motivated all of them to deliver for their families back home.
I was struck by Cyclone Kenny a week ago, and the devastating effect it had on the island is so much. But the students are inspired by that.
They might be considered as one of the rural schools, but for the 14 athletes from the island of Kandavu, they are hoping to achieve the impossible. Eroni Twinuku, FBC Sports.
Despite facing setbacks after the recent string of unfavorable weather conditions, the St. Bede's College athletics team has managed to pull through and be part of the Coca-Cola Games from tomorrow. The Ivano Levu-based school, who won a gold medal at last year's event, has come with a positive mindset and an aim to bag more medals this weekend. Meli Tavanga reports.
St. Bede's scholars did not see the unfavorable weather as a barrier to achieve their goal coming into this year's Co-Games.
A few cyclones that came, and but we managed to pull through whatever resources we had. We said to use it and come prepared for the Fiji finals.
With the sacrifices of the teachers, athletes and its old scholars, the team is capable of producing promising results at the Fiji finals.
The main aim for St. Bede's will rely on the track events, especially in the 100 meters and probably in the long jump, which won our gold medal, our only gold medal last year.
Meanwhile, 18-year-old Setefano Radeva, who finished fourth in the intermediate boys 100 meters event last year, is coming again to fulfill his dream of winning a medal.
Just to participate on the coach game, just to do what the teachers want for us to participate in the coach.
A total of 14 athletes include their last year's lone gold medalist. Yosefo Kamusu will be competing in the three-day event as they bid to win more medals this year. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Competing at this year's Coke Games will be a dream come true for 14-year-old Romerengio Nravu of Dudley High School. Making her debut at the Games from tomorrow, the young sprinter is aiming for nothing less than a gold medal finish in her event. Luciana Tangidakimbao reports.
Competing against the best will be a challenge for Merengio Nravu. However, the 14-year-old is ready to show what she is capable of.
I'm expecting to win gold in 200 meters because that's like my best time.
Nravu says working hard and making sacrifices is what they have been doing, and the team aims to take something back to the school.
This is our first time, so we'll try and do our best to win something so we can take it to Dudley High School.
Head coach Jonah Kawakoro says with the preparations they've been doing, they are confident of bagging medals.
All the students, athletes are trying their best in training-wise. We are trying to have a step up from last year. As we've all known that Dudley has just won a medal last year. So the school as a whole in athletes are trying their best to work together and try and exceed that one medal, which is a silver.
Dudley High School will be taking a total of 38 athletes in this year's Coke Games. Luciana Tangidakimbao, FBC Sports.
Coca-Cola Amatil Fiji Limited has increased its prize money sponsorship for this year's Games. The major sponsor of the event has added $7,000 to the prize pool this year, bringing the total to $17,000. Marketing manager Lawrence Tikaram says this is something they've done to not only motivate athletes, but to also assist with some of the expenses incurred to get to the Games.
Which is a step up from, I think, $10,000 last year. And this is to do with the giving back to these schools to share some of the preparation costs they've done as well.
Meanwhile, with the Coke Games set to start in about 12 hours, FBC sports reporter Meli Tavanga joins us live from the FDA building in Suva, where team managers are having their final brief. Meli, are there any new developments ahead of this year's event?
Yes, I'm here at the ANZ Stadium, and it's the eve of the 2018 Coca-Cola Games, Jamie. And here with me is Mr. Vuliwanga, who is the Fiji Secondary School Association Secretary. Mr. Vuliwanga, would you be able to tell us what's the latest from the AGM you guys just had a while ago? Are there any schools that pulled out in the last minute, or any new schools who have just joined this year's Games?
No, at the moment we haven't received any more information regarding schools that are pulling out. But as for new schools, we have 4 new schools coming for 2018. Nasausavia in Nandi, Nasavia in Ragiragi, Sawa North in the Asawas, and Bau Central College in Tailebu.
And I believe for the first time the opening ceremony will be held on Thursday, eh?
Yes, we're having the opening ceremony for the first time tomorrow on Thursday. We normally have the opening ceremony on Fridays, on Thursdays, on Fridays, because we have the two-day meets. Now that we have 3 days, and because we're starting on Thursday, we are having the opening ceremony on Thursday.
And for the maritime schools, I believe they're already here in the capital. What about other schools in Viti level?
Yeah, the maritime schools are already in Viti level, as well as the schools from outside Suva and Nosori. All of them are now in Suva, ready to kickstart the Coca-Cola games tomorrow.
That's it from here. For you out there, if in case you missed out on the tickets, don't worry, FBC TV will provide you with a live coverage of the 3-day event, and you can also be able to watch all the athletes in action for the 3-day tournament in the comfort of your homes. Jamie.
In today's play of the day, Harry Kane's 26th league goal of the season in Tottenham's 1-1 draw with Brighton. Kane, who is chasing the Golden Boot award, is still 4 goals behind Liverpool's Mohamed Salah. But having won the prize in each of the last 2 seasons, Kane says he will not give it up without a fight. That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather. And in new media, we take a look at Sony's new super slow-mo smartphone camera. That's coming up.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na radio Fiji 1 and domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola untuk tali tak na radio festival kena domi.
Yang gue agak silil tali, negara ramai nama mani, nandunga. Gitu tali tak jadi yang gitu kena sebalik pun nangguntur rongo, baru na radio Fiji 1 nandomi biti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandomi biti na honga ni BNN.
In new media, the new Xperia XZ2 from Sony is their flagship phone for early 2018. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It's the hump day and conditions have been quite sunny and nice. Hope you enjoyed the day. The nights are cooler, so ensure to keep warm. Taking a look in the west for today, it has been sunny all day with light showers expected for tonight. Eastwards from Pakaba to Suva, all sunny as well, cooler winds can be expected. And up north, it was great for outdoor events, so if you did, I'm sure it was worth it. At sea, southeast winds gusting up to 35 knots with very rough seas. For the tides, low tide will be at 8:31 p.m. with high tide at 2:30 a.m. rather. Sunrise will be at 6:17. For tomorrow, we're getting closer to the weekend and we have heaps of rain clouds lined up for us. Tomorrow's temps, majority centers will be at 27 degrees, quite cool. And looking further on to the Jolly Good Friday, more rain is likely. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we asked, should outstanding athletes at the Coke Games be given scholarships?
Yeah, I mean, if they have the skills and have the opportunity to go overseas, then yeah, we should make those opportunities available. Yeah? Because it's sad to see that most athletics, and not just athletics, but in other sports as well, that most of their careers just end after high school. Eh? But so much of them have the potential of achieving so much more. I like how we saw Aileen Vikamatana just get the gold for Fiji. We have to keep on providing opportunities for youths.
I think yes, because gives them an opportunity to broaden their knowledge and exercise what talent they have, and to give them the opportunity to prove themselves.
Yes, I think that's a really good idea because like most of our athletes, like it's like raw talents, and if we don't if we like leave them
school, like living with the cooks, it's like they'll be useless. So you should give them opportunity. Like if they can't get it themselves, we should offer them scholarships to go overseas and explore their own potential to better themselves.
Yes, I really think that athletes should be given scholarships overseas because it gives them an opportunity. Some students are not really good academically, so this could be a really good field for them to broaden their knowledge in.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, rapper Kendrick Lamar has made history, becoming the first pop artist to win the prestigious Pulitzer Prize for music. Usually it's given to jazz or classical artists, but this year someone on the panel decided to change that. Recapping the main stories, family gets compensation payout, another MH supermarket destroyed in fire, and the 2018 Coca-Cola Games begins tomorrow. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should harsher sentences be given out to those attacking police officers? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day was sent in by Manisha Lal. It's that time of the year again where people get behind their school for the Coca-Cola Games, and this includes their pets. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, good evening.
Wrong on the radio Fiji 1 and the Moy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo sekolah untuk tali tak na radio Fiji 1 kena domi.
Ayaw ko ato sila tali. Nagurara may naomanyi nandunga. Gitu tali tadi yang gitu Venezuela pun nangguntur rongo. Barong na radio Fiji 1 nandomi Viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandomi Viti na bonga ni BNN.